Are you worried about the AI takeover? It's time to change your perspective. Today, we'll see the unique human skills that not only make you irreplaceable, but will also secure your future in any industry. Learn how to turn AI from a threat into an ally. This is AI Capitalist, where I'm here to ensure that your leadership thrives by integrating technological innovation with your indispensable human skills and talents. I've been hearing a lot of people saying how advances in AI technology are going to change everything. And they're not wrong. After all, everything from autonomous cars to voice-activated assistants and a million other things are in rapid development. In 2018, the McKinsey Global Institute published a report about the future of employment, predicting that changes due to artificial intelligence tools and systems could displace 400 million workers by 2030. In March of 2023, Goldman Sachs released a global economics impact report that suggested that creative AI might take over a quarter of all jobs. So those were some generalizations, but the World Economic Forum released a report that was able to predict specifics. And they estimate that 83 million jobs are going to disappear and only 69 million new jobs are going to be created by AI. That's a 14 million job deficit. We have to go into our roles with the idea that every one of us is replaceable. It keeps us nimble and aggressive. But don't internalize that. I once brought this up to a rabbinical student friend of mine, and he pondered for a moment and told me, no, that's the exact opposite of what God tells us. Every one of us is irreplaceable. And he was right. But the real fear that you could see your career path, your job, and your ability to live the lifestyle that you want all disappear is very real thanks to AI. You as a person may not be replaceable, but break down your skill set. AI does have the ability to replace some of your most important skills. I've made a few episodes myself about jobs in tech, media, and in law, to name just a few that are going on the AI chopping. With each advance of AI, the list gets longer, and it's easy to stay up at night worrying about AI taking your job. Taking steps to AI-proof your current work or switch to a new career that you can't lose is harder, but worthwhile. The key is to change your mindset, to switch from passive to active thinking about the adoption of AI, to find skills that are un-AIable. And here are 3 career functions that AI just can't pull off. Number 1 is contextual awareness. AI apps and developers are pushing to increase their product's context window. This is the amount of information, such as articles and books, that AI can hold at one time in one conversation. Large language models like ChatGPT or Gemini are working with models that are built on top of the entire internet. All of the books and knowledge of humanity, as well as the other nonsense and crap that's available online, which is most of it, right? The model is more structured around teaching computers to converse with people. It's not about nailing the right answer all the time. If you ask me about my formative experiences, or for some information about old Abe Lincoln, I can generally remember a little bit. Maybe I get it right, maybe I get it wrong. If you ask ChatGPT a straight-up question about Abe Lincoln, you'll get an answer. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. But if you upload a biography of Abe Lincoln's context, and then you start quizzing it about Abe Lincoln, you're much more likely to get a right answer. Just like if you just finished reading a biography of Abe Lincoln, you're a lot more likely to know facts and have opinions about the guy than what you remember from grade school. So think of context as a sort of what's on AI's mind. The problem with context is that AI is only able to focus on one specific subset of information. But reality and cognition aren't about just looking for one issue with a microscope. Everything is integrated. So let's look at a hot button political issue. If I upload a government report about inflation to AI, I can quiz the AI about the state of inflation and get real answers. Real government answers about how much better inflation is getting. But as a human being, I can read the report, and then on my way home, I fill up my tank of gas and notice that the price has tripled again. On the drive home, I listen to the news and hear about military conflicts that threaten to further jack up the price of oil. I get home and I talk to my neighbor, and then something else comes up, and I can integrate all of these context windows into a whole picture and reach a conclusion about the real world. And all decisions are like this. Reality is like a web of interlocking context windows. We determine what we feel is most likely true. I can use empathy to figure out the motivations and feelings of the people issuing the report and reach some decision about its accuracy. I'm aware of the context of my context. AI can't do this. It only knows the context you spoon-feed it, and you just tell it its context, and it doesn't feel a thing. The second area where AI falters is in conflict resolution. Social skills are handled inconsistently between AI systems and are a common source of problems. In the early days of AI, chatbots that were trained on social media data were found spitting out racist and misogynistic slurs. You can lie to AI and it has no idea what's going on. When asked to mediate a conflict, AI chatbots will generally just pick one side and slam the other. The third, and this is big, critical thinking. AI's failure to be able to integrate context or to mediate conflict is its greatest weakness. AI is just utterly incapable of critical thinking. The first step in critical thinking is curiosity. AI is utterly incurious. It just tries to come up with an answer from the information you feed it. Then comes inference. You curiously gather information and then you try to infer some answers and infer the context of your information. But AI can't tell if information is right or wrong. When you have your bits of information, you try to problem solve using your creativity. Large language models, or even AI art, is by definition built on previous people's inputs, i.e. their creative product. It can't truly synthesize a creative solution. Speaking of AI artwork, lots of artists have filed online lawsuits to remove the presumption of a fair use exemption for copyrighted material. But when training on artwork, AI can't make this kind of judgment because a ruling on an online DMCA case applies beyond what is established in the law. It takes common sense experience in your head to work out these cases, and AI just doesn't have those capabilities. AI can see the world in only one dimension. That kind of one-dimensional thinking isn't of use if you're planning a career. The kinds of jobs where successful adults earn adult paychecks still revolve around a mix of what's called cognitive flexibility, empathy, and accountability. That's what AI can't do. If you're pursuing a job opportunity that requires you to function anywhere between these three sort of abilities, then you have a way to support yourself because your job isn't going anywhere. Your job duties are going to shift, but they aren't going to go away. You're going to be problem solving across multiple contexts, managing trade-offs, and making judgment. And that'll be the right high-value career path. And if you think that you're getting value out of this episode, hit the like button. Hitting like helps spread this content to others and helps them get ready to embrace their un-AIable skills. Your support means that I can keep unveiling the invaluable blend of human insight and AI efficiency that's needed in every profession. So I thank you for your support. It's important to look at your own career direction and goals and start thinking about where conflict management, and critical thinking apply. I've been in engineering for a few decades now, and even in a math-heavy technical field, I can tell you that there are some things that just aren't up to calculations. I still needed to manage subordinates and superiors. I work with clashing personalities. Sometimes I've had to decide which interpretations of a building code are practical to implement. I had to know when I can advance and advocate for my client on a certain interpretation of a building code, knowing the personality of the city official who's reviewing it. And I have to know when to just say, do what they say and, let it slide, even though it's more expensive. It wasn't all calculations and simulations, and it never will be. So we have contextual awareness, we have conflict management, and we have critical thinking. What do all of these have in common? These are the skills of a good leader. And if you're a business leader, or you dream of being one, you know that even before AI, the name of the game is automation and delegation. I could learn the ins and outs of payroll, but I'm better off hiring a controller and just having him tell me the parts I need to know to make the big decisions. I could learn all of business accounting, but then my personal learning curve is the bottleneck preventing the growth for my entire organization. Automating the tasks that you used to do, but now AI can accomplish, is just going to be the same process of delegation. And this delegation lets you clear your desk so that you can make the decisions that only you can make. And that skill is irreplaceable.